Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. I'm the Magi, and you know what time it is, and we're gonna get our midweek magic on. This week's midweek magic, of course, is none other than Explorer, one of the eternal formats here on Arena. This one is most often noted as the eternal format that does not include alchemy-based cards. For better or worse, you be your own judge. But today we are going to prove that despite the fact that Explorer is a tad expensive and can be difficult to get into, it is a format for everyone. Even this early in the format, we have deck lists today for brand new players, budget players, and established players to all add to their experience here on Arena. But before we get into all that, allow me to do the awkward thing and promote the channel. A while back, one of my viewers was kind enough to point out that we are the only channel putting out timely midweek magic content. So be sure to subscribe right here at the Planeswalker Stronghold for all of your future midweek magic needs, because we will be bringing you a deck list or strategy every single week. So what do you say we put all this aside and just get to that? All right, so first things first, you're going to hear me say this a lot, but around here you matter. Recently, I surveyed the community to see exactly what they wanted in an Explorer deck for this event, and Mono Black Devotion beat out Mono Red Burn, our Patreon pick, by just a narrow margin. And to some degree, I'm actually going to cover both of those. Mono Blue Spirits, Grease Fang, and Mono White Humans, all excellent choices. And you'll have no problem finding deck lists out there, either in my listings or on EtherHub in general for the other three. But today's focus, of course, is going to be Mono Black Devotion. So to start things off, I have a very simple question. Have you met Gary? Gary is the basis for a budget mono black devotion deck, both in Explorer and very often in Historic. And we've got a meta version of the deck here for our established players, as well as a budgeted down starter version of the deck for our kind of mid-range budget players. However, for new players, this deck might be a little out of reach this early in the season, and what I actually recommend is you check out the brand new Mono Red budget deck for 2024 that I just released over the weekend, and be sure to check out the upgrade guide for the deck over on EtherHub. If you're willing to put some wildcards into that deck, I definitely recommend checking out that last section there. The card draw spell and the land/damage is the way to go here. All right, so here we've got our somewhat more meta version of Mono Black Devotion. Of course, the stereotypical 4 copies of Fatal Push. I'm running 3 copies of Thoughtseize. Probably a lot of people would run 4. We are running 3 copies of Warlock class, 2 Go for the Throat, a single copy of Wishclaw Talisman. This seems to be in the meta more for tech reasons, to try and get your Gary when you need it. This is a fairly easy cut for a lot of people. Gifted Aetherborn, I'm running a total of 3. Somehow I've ended up with 2 different versions. Tamaret, Chosen of Death, is a nice, solid blocker early on. And Yorok the Fenlurker is another early drop that can punch through for some extra damage and allows you to do more discard effects. Meat Hook Massacre, I think everybody's pretty familiar with that. I'm running 2 copies. I think that's pretty normal, actually, for the meta. Liliana of the Veil, a card from Standard, running 2 copies on that. Again, pretty solid for the meta. 3 copies of Murderous Rider, which is an older adventure card, so you get kind of double duty card advantage. Underworld Dreams, running 3 copies there. 3 copies Sheltered of the Apocalypse, and 2 copies of Sauron the Merciless. In the land base, we are 2 Castle Locthwain, 1 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, 16 pretty basic swamps, 2 copies of the Abandoned Mire, and the Shrine to Nyx. I'm running 2 copies on that. That is pretty standard for the mono black meta. The green devotion deck runs, I think, a full 4 of. Now, of course, this deck is really all about our gray friend here, Merchant of Asphodel, I'm going to say. 2/4 zombie, 3 and 2 black. When it ETBs, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. And for those that don't know, devotion to black, each black mana pip in the mana cost of permanents you control count towards your devotion. And when you look back over this list, what you're going to notice is most everything from the Warlock class, with the exception of Go for the Throat, pretty much everything is a permanent, and almost everything has multiple black pips going, far more than one might expect. So it's not unusual for Gary to come down and do 7 or 8 damage just in the game, or allow you to stabilize by gaining 7 or 8 while also dealing that much to your opponent. Pretty solid deck here. I have a lot of fun with it. It's not terribly expensive, because almost every single copy in this deck I have gotten through standard play. I think the exceptions, I think I did craft some Thoughtseize, and of course the Shrines were recent additions that needed to be crafted. But all in all, a fairly budget-friendly deck for something that is pretty meta. And here we have a budgeted down version. You'll notice we're running 2 copies of Cut Down from Standard, 2 copies of Duress. Yes, it's not quite as good as Thoughtseize. Another copy of Fatal Push in here just to maybe start padding out your collection a little bit. And 4 copies of Hopeless Nightmare, an enchantment in itself, so it will add to your devotion count, unlike the other spells that we've covered so far. Still running, I think now 3 copies of Go for the Throat. The other deck, I believe, is running 2. Misery's Shadow, this is a rare from last year, so if you don't have it, I wouldn't press too hard on it. But I'm guessing most people that are looking at this deck were around last year and probably have some copies on that. A wild card that I think is well worth the investment if you like this style deck is Gifted Etherborn. 2 copies on that. The combination of 2 pips, Death Touch, and Lifelink, something that can block pretty effectively, is very, very nice. A single copy of Reckoner Bankbuster here. This thing is just a card draw machine. If you were around last year, you know what I'm talking about. It is not legal for Standard, but it is still legal for Explorer, and I know those of you that were around last year should have been able to cash in on some essentially free copies there. Phyrexian Rager, this is from the new player experience, as is Vanquish the Weak, Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor, and Gruesome Realization. Liliana of the Veil is fairly easily accessible through jump-in packets. If you don't have it, I might not burn a Mythic Wildcard at this point in the year to get it. You've got a whole nother year to maybe acquire that as free-to-play. Murderous Rider, we talked about this in the prior version. A single copy here is a nice addition to the deck and well worth considering a wildcard for. Phyrexian Arena gives you a nice card draw option while also providing 2 pips on permanent. Invasion of Eldraine, Pile-On, both from your new player experience, as is Terror of Tawashi. Sheltered of the Apocalypse is an awesome card. Maybe something I would consider a wild card on at this point, mostly because I fully expect it to get banned as it moves into its third year because it's been so prevalent, at which point you will get your wild card back and you'll get roughly a year's worth of play out of this copy. Phyrexian Obliterator is in here for the pips. That's right, we're pipping it out here. 4 is just so hard to come by, and if you face down this card, you know how hard it is to deal with. If you've got a copy, fantastic. I don't think I'd spend the wild card on this. If you didn't, I would just substitute something else in that is of a similar mana value or heavily contributes to pips within the deck. And of course, we've also got Archpriest of Shadows, a nice pip-heavy 4/4 with backup and Death Touch, allowing you to hold down the field. Similarly, Gix's Command allows you an element of control to your deck, and it came to you free in your new player experience. And of course, we've got 4 copies of our guy Gary going on in here. The land base is a bit more basic. 18 swamps this time, 1 abandoned mire, 1 field of ruin, neither one of which do I think is really essential. If you can afford a wild card and you like these devotion style decks, Shrine to Nyx is a fantastic thing. And as we said before, 2 is really the ideal for black, but you got to start somewhere, and a single wild card might be the right answer. And now for something completely different. Oftentimes for these midweek Magic videos, I don't have gameplay footage to show you because, well, we just kind of invented the deck. But for this, I've got some decent footage of the Mono Black Devotion deck, the more meta version that I've been running on my primary account. So hopefully this is something you guys like. Definitely comment down below. Let me know what you think of this being included in the midweek Magic video. And also comment if you get this reference at all. Kind of a long wait here in the Explorer queue. Hey, there we go. Robot, indeed. I mean, that does not feel like a bad opener here. I think we'll run with that. Fatal Push, open on turn 1 is not too bad. And then we've got a couple of options here for our turn 2 play. I think I like Aetherborn better of the 2. Although Fenlurker getting to pull a card from their hand, pretty nice. We'll see how that goes. What kind of deck we're facing here. If they make a mulligan decision. Hey, there we go. I do think we're going to keep this. Honestly, I have no idea what the Explorer meta looks like at the moment. Let me pull that up here. It's nice to have things on demand. We're just going to swamp and pass. The meta for Explorer BO1. Sure. Looks like they're playing mono blue. Selesnya Angels, mono green, mono white, Abzan, Greasefang, and Rakdos Jangotha. That's your top 5 decks there. I don't think I want a Thoughtseize here. I mean, that looks like the better play for next turn. Let's get our Aetherborn out there while maybe mono blue is shields down. 2 Hall of the Storm Giants back to back. So we've got a potential sweat here. This is a lot of rare lands. Well, we got strangled. That's a thing that happens. You say we Thoughtseize them. Well, they just get the Arclight back. I think we'll take pieces. And with the exile effect, sadly we don't get to pick that. But they did pitch the 1 damage, which I was actually a little worried about with the Fin Lurker, but given the opportunity, I certainly would have taken their Phoenix. Shard, of course, sure. Hopefully we draw a land and we can go Sheltered. Feels pretty good. They are opting. Frankly, I'm okay with that. Did not really want the Phoenix, but hey, it is a thing. And, I don't think I want to do that right now. I think we want to target... Wait a second. Is there a reason we can't do that? Wait a second. No, we can't do that because so we'll just do this. We'll Lily. What are they doing? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think we go Lily here. Well, that hurts. And that was not a permit, so we cannot Fatal Push. Okay. That, on the other hand, seems like a fantastic Fatal Push target. See if that gets through, or they tap out and we get to land Sheltered next turn. Or maybe Sorin? Either of them. Pretty decent. We're taking 3 here either way. See if we can land Sorin here if we're just gonna... No, we did not run into a wall of counter spells. That's awesome.
I bring my
like the animation there for Sorin. a lot of not great. Do we try that again with another sword? Yeah, I think we're gonna go for Sheldred here. Maybe start chipping in on their life total a little bit. Or they might have an immediate answer for that. Arclight Phoenix, definitely one of the better Explorer decks, and about to get a lot better when Khans of Tarkir comes out. They only have one card in hand. Hey, alright, we landed something just like that. So we got 2 there, 3.
Violence is necessary to set things right.
And I am going to attack here, even though they are most likely just going to chump block, because I want the 2 life. Well, that's unfortunate.
Can I help
you? I think we will decline that just because I can't take the 7 life loss. We will swing our Rider of the Murderous Sort. And I think we will activate here. Do I make the token? Or look at the top card to give it a +1? Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is swing here. And yeah, I'm going to go with the card here. Another Underworld Dreams. We will decline that, obviously.
blood for knowledge? A fair trade.
The arc light coming down. So we got our Sorin anyway.
Be restored now.
swing in here for the life gain. Sure. So if we can just basically survive their turn, that's kind of where we're at. And there we go. Not exactly a quick win. Like I said, this is a slow, grindy sort of deck, but it does tend to get there. So some nice easy rank points down here in bronze. Just doing the rank to get the little extra resources from silver, or perhaps we slide into gold this month. I tend to not really care about rank when it comes to the summer months. But let's get in here, do game number 2, wanting to get that second win here. That was a lot shorter wait time. Really not bad. Not sure what I want to do on 3 there, but I suppose we have a little bit of time to think about that. Try and get the Aetherborn into some early action here. That can just be such a nice lead. Kill their ramp off. We do lose the 2, but we're immediately going to swing and get it back. So, not too bad there. Thoughtseize in hand, we just really still haven't used it. Nisa, nice. We can't really Fatal Push that. But what we can do is Underworld Dreams. And let's hit them with a little Thoughtseize here. And, wow, what do we want to take? I think we take the Scoot Swarm there, right? And we'll say no attacks. The Reef, it has risen. Sheldred, seems like a solid play here. We'll say no attacks, and he's done. He just is not even having any of that. So day 1, it's a great place to be. This is not a bad opener. I don't hate this whatsoever. So yeah, let's do this. I would have liked a 3rd land in the opening hand, but being on the play, you really can't complain about that too much. Kumano, all right, we got a couple pieces of removal. Actually, like 3 pieces of removal. I think I want to go ahead and get my Fenlurker down. Make choices. There we go. What'd they throw? Well, all right. They're gonna make me pay for it in the only way red really can, and I find that completely acceptable. And they completely whiffed on their second push for Kumano. That's a little bit sad, honestly. I think I'm just gonna push in for 1 here. Or I might play down the Talisman just to get the additional mana counter. Hey man, I really appreciate that. I'm going to call you Trevor. Sorry if that's wrong, but hey, that's how it is. Appreciate the follow. Appreciate you watching my work on YouTube. I hope you find it useful. And well, thanks for being here, man. That's really what it's all about, is trying to get the word out to the peoples. And we'll keep Fatal Push up, and I mean, I guess I could wish for something at EOT as well if they don't present an interesting threat here. Fatal Push, of course, is certainly an option, but let's let them play out their hand before we make decisions. That's good enough for me. We'll just we'll push that away. For a red deck, he's really not getting a whole lot done here. Another Kamano, great, not really an issue. I think we're gonna Warlock here, and do I want to go ahead and activate? No, I think I'd rather spend the mana on destroying his Alchemist. Let's see if we can break his little mono red heart here by just removing all his crap. I mean, despite our best efforts, he is still kind of, he is winning. So. I always hate having to do that with the recursive samurai. You put the +1/+1 counter on it, and then you basically lose the value. A little disappointing, but certainly could be worse. We've got Gary anytime we want it. So at this point, I think it's just more about raising the value on Gary, and we'll continue to ping in here. But I think I'd rather have Fatal Push open rather than pop Gary. And yeah, we might as well go ahead and do this. Maybe we draw into something that helps us do that. And, oh, Meat Hook is nice. Gift of the Aetherborn, also very nice. I think that's what we're going to do here, is grab that gift and go ahead and play him out. Fatal Push. I mean, probably the only thing we're going to see is the Samurai, and we can block that with the Aetherborn anyway. Another Impulse. I mean, I kind of feel like he's trying to be a prowess deck, but I haven't seen any prowess things. There's something we can push next turn. It's going to come right at the head. Too bad we have life gain. Beginning of your end step, each opponent loses. Oh wow, okay. I guess he was tired of me trying to remember how to play this deck, but that's all right. We got our first couple chunks of bronze going, and like I said, 2-3 wins is really what I'm looking for today. Make for a nice, easy Saturday, so I can do a bunch of video editing in the afternoon. That would be nice, to say the least. Again, no rush on that whatsoever, but I like this Explorer deck. It's really kind of cheap to put together. Like, you really don't need a lot of resources, and Gary is just kind of the heart and soul of the deck. I don't know if you happen to read the card or are familiar with it, but Gary basically deals damage and you gain life equal to the number of black pips you have on the battlefield, i.e. your devotion to black. Ooh, wow, that is just... I don't like being the Thoughtseize guy, but sometimes you just got to do it. Let's see if we can break this guy before he even really gets going. I mean, red has a hard time renewing its mana, or its card draw. So we will say goodbye to one of his cards here. And Obnoxious or Croxa. I think we want to get rid of Obnoxious there. That's a pretty solid card there, honestly. We'll hit the Warlock. And rather than back-to-back thought seizing him, I'm going to go ahead and Fatal Push here. I may end up regretting that, but I've got the Murderous Rider. Oh, that gets it done too. And just chipping away on him. So if he presents a creature, Murderous Rider is certainly a nice way to move in. And then a potential turn 4 Sheldred. I mean, this deck is just nothing but insult. And we're definitely going to have the option for the turn 4 Sheldred. So we will go ahead and murder. It does hurt us, but just a little bit. And that gets rid of the creature, and we don't lose the 2 life because Murderous Rider will now fizzle. Decent. I'll take that. And again, we get a little chip damage in. Man, wish we could have gotten the Sheldred down before this. Do we want to discard a card? You know what? I'm gonna pitch the Thought Seize because it's gonna be a little bit before we can really do that. Say hello to my little friend. I mean, he might have black base removal to deal with this, but the red side of that story is going to be difficult, to say the least. And I think they're not very happy about that. This has been the first slow play we've seen from them. Kind of hate to lose the land, but it could be a lot worse, that's for sure. The flyer, not great. Don't love that. I don't know. I mean, we might get lucky and draw another land, but I think I want to play it safe here. And I don't see any reason to attack with Sheldred and put him at risk. I mean, we're going to start taking 4 a turn, but we're dealing 3 to him and getting 2 back. So a 3-2 is a race I can live with. And he's going with the obnoxiousness. Okay, a little Mayhem Devil. I can respect that. So I guess we know we gotta play our cards out every turn. Oh, that's a decent one. Not the mana we need though. Attack or not? I mean, he's obviously just going to chump block it, so I'm going to lean towards no. If we can pop that Gary off next turn. I mean, that's what, 2, 5, 6. We will decline. And I will decline again. Thank you.
Plead for mercy.
Oh, but now he's going to hit me with the flyer, so I think we just die here. Which is unfortunate, because we were super close. Maybe he'll draw himself to death? I don't know. I guess maybe that's a possibility. And if we could have gotten the Gary off, I think he probably would have drawn himself to death there. Not to mention we'd be, what, 4 life ahead? Because we would not have taken the well, I guess actually we would have taken the damage there, because we would not have been able to discard a card because our hand would have been empty. Because it is a trigger when we do not discard a card as opposed to when we do. Our opponent just on the slow play here. I'm not sure what is going on here. I don't think he's drawing that many cards. But hopefully we get 3 here and then 8 on Gary. And then when we pass turn back, they take a little bit more damage. He's down to his last time out here. And I mean, he certainly has winning on board. All he has to do is swing with his flyer and we're dead. But it doesn't look like he's going to do that. So we might get a sneak win here. Pull it out of the jaws of defeat, as they say. Yeah, there we go. Or we might just get it on the timer here if they fail to resolve things. All right, let's do Gariness. This definitely saves our bacon. And again, no reason to attack, so we will just pass. And on their draw step, they die. Well, I guess that's choosing your own destiny there. Quick opponent there, I like that. Kinda like that too. Where was Wizard Class on turn 1? That would have been super nice. Although I guess I can double spell on 3. You know what? I'm going to risk the double block. I don't think he's going to give it to me. Well, I stand corrected. We're definitely going to take the battle cry out. I like it. I mean, it's a loss of 2 pips, but knowing I've got Sorin next turn is not too terrible. What did he give up? Oh, a shatter. Not a shatter, a smashing, I guess. I don't know. What should we call that? I'm going to take 3 here. It's totally acceptable. And I think we make a vampire. And sure, we'll attack. You should certainly activate. Yeah, there you go. That is the correct play. He's going all in on Sorin? Really? As expected, we do lose Sorin. We take a little bit of damage. We will Gary because he is a nice effective blocker. And I think we send the friend lurker. I would have liked to have gotten the Thoughtseize off that turn too, but Gary was certainly more important. And let's see, we will block there and there. Hopefully this isn't lethal. I don't know. Math. It was not lethal. Huzzah! But Thoughtseize is useless, unfortunately. Oh, that's pretty good. So I think if we Thoughtseize for 2, we kind of win the game here. Is that right? I think it is. And again, we can't Thoughtseize anything, but that's okay. And well, really no point to attacking there. So I guess technically I should have attacked first, but we'll end turn. Still no cards in hand. But he's done. Okay. Zombies. Man, I can't remember the last time I really saw zombies on the ladder. But of course, that was a Monty Python reference. For those of you who might not be aware, it's worth checking out if you're into that dry British comedy sort of humor. They were a great troupe many years back. And well, for the most part, I think they have survived unscathed as far as cancel culture, but there definitely are some skits that might offend those. So do tread lightly if you are apt to be offended. And hey, just in case you didn't catch all that, Matt would like you to know that the deck list that we discussed in this video is going to have a link down in the doobly-doo to take you over to EtherHub, along with a link to any other alternative lists that you might wish to consider. He only asks that you give it a little thumbs up when you're over there checking out the deck list. And I plan on live playing this event on Wednesday at 11 a.m. over on my Twitch channel. So definitely stop in and check it out. Because the Stronghold is so much more than just a YouTube channel, and you can find links to all of our other social media outlets in our profile. Because at the end of the day, we're all budget players. And as a community, we're stronger together. So like, comment, subscribe, follow, do all those things to show a little love. It's appreciated more than you know.